Hi everyone. This week I don't particularly have a place in the book that I want to talk about. Instead, I want to talk about storytelling. Essentially, we're all storytellers. We all have stories that we tell ourselves. We all have stories that we tell others. Maybe what went on that day. We love to share information. We love to share stories. So I was thinking, why don't I talk about writing in general? Because writing, sorry, it just, I don't know, it's like getting it on paper or whether getting it on your phone or even just speeching it out to your phone. Getting this stuff out there, it really helps us process. It helps others because when they hear the story, they resonate, they can relate. Stories are a very powerful thing, and we're all storytellers in one shape or another. And I've been talking a lot and thinking a lot about how we we hide ourselves. We tell ourselves these stories that keep us small. We're afraid to let others know what's inside of us. Whether it's because we're afraid that we're going to overshadow them, we're afraid that they won't like the real us. Maybe we're just afraid ourselves for that attention. Maybe in your childhood, you got the wrong attention, or if you got any attention brought to you, it would basically get you in trouble. It would put you under the microscope. For whatever reason, we tend to hide behind things. So, in the world today, there's a lot more, I don't want to say freedom, a lot more acceptance, a lot more understanding. Not with everybody, but it's just there's a lot more in general. There's a lot more people out there that need your story, that can heal from your story, that can resonate with your story. And sometimes it's as simple as the other day I shared on a group that I'm in, the Wealth Vibe. I basically shared one of my writings, one of my channeled writings. And in it, I like to put up a GIF. That way it just kind of just, I don't know, it invites others. It's just a GIF themed by what I'm telling. And that particular story was talking about feeding the two wolves inside of you and how feeding your ego, we're afraid to feed our ego, but then you starve that ego, and that's the very monster you're afraid of. However, if you feed that ego in a healthy manner, then you're balancing it. It's not going to go attack. But in the process, though, when I shared that story, I shared a GIF of I don't know if you ever watched Little Shop of Horrors, which is actually a really great show. But there's a plant that Seymour feeds, and that was the GIF where it says, "Feed me, Seymour, feed me." Talking about the plant, he feeds it his blood, and then it starts to grow, and then it gets out of control. So it just kind of fit the theme a little bit. But I had somebody in the group that said that just sharing that GIF alone was powerful for her because it reminded her, it's not my story to tell, but it reminded her of an incident with her sister, something they did together. And so the smallest little things that you do can have great impact on others. It's not just if you smile, you brighten someone's life. If you give a small compliment, those are all great things. But even the smallest little things you can do, you don't know the struggles that someone's going through. You don't know their story. But if you give kindness or the smallest things or share your own story, you know, sometimes it gets not old, but it gets stagnant hearing, "Thank you for sharing, thank you for sharing." But in all reality, thank you for sharing because you're sharing your story. You're being vulnerable. You're sharing a part of yourself, but also you're empowering others through your vulnerability to look in the mirror and face the things in their life. So, with us being storytellers, don't be afraid to share your story. There might be haters, there's gonna be. And even in that, haters themselves are not hating you, they're hating themselves. They're hating either the you that you are and they wish they could be that, or maybe just the freedom you have to tell your things. But for whatever reason, the hate that they give you is actually a projection, it's a hate for themselves. And maybe them giving you hate helps them process it, or maybe you continue to show up and any hate that you get, people see that and they're like, wow, that's amazing, that you're able to do that, that you don't entertain it. I don't remember the entire story, but basically there was a story about Buddha, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, it was one of the wise ones where somebody had brought them hatred, and he kept saying, he kept doing hateful things to him, and he would say, why are you not bothered by this? And then he would say, if you give me a gift, I'm butchering this, by the way. If you give me a gift and I don't accept it, then who does it belong to? And he said, well, me. He said, well, then if you bring me this hate and you give me all this hate and I don't accept it, then it belongs to you. But it still helps them to process it, because energy needs to be processed and people don't dig through these things. So you being a mirror of this hate, unfortunately, it does help them, but it also helps to make you stronger. So don't focus on that. Focus on what you want. So focus on the helping of others. And then that might be some way to help you think, well, this person's being hateful. I'm going to go ahead and feel this for a moment. I'm going to feel the hate. It doesn't feel great. I'm going to let it go or just reject it altogether. But that way you process your version of it and let them have their hate. And hopefully it'll grow to love. Because I think this is one of my channel things too. Love and hate are both two sides of a coin separated by fear. It was pretty profound when I sat and thought about that and what that truly means. And actually, channeled writing is very informative. There's things that I'm writing that I don't know if it's real. Like, it doesn't even matter. What matters is the effect it has on me, whether it's from my brain, my higher self, spirit guides. As long as it's in love and light, for me, it's not the source that matters, it's the message. And does it resonate? Also, it opens you up. The more that you write, the more you're opened up to spirit and to your guides and to your intuition. So no matter what the source is or whatever you think it is, to me is irrelevant as much as the tool itself. I don't care which store I buy the tool from, as long as the tool works and it helps. So back to storytelling. This actually is a tool for storytelling, because the more that you're writing, also the more fluid and without judgment. You're writing to write. You're writing for the flow. You're writing for the feel. For intuitive writing, it's very helpful. And it even helps with storytelling, because doing that, you just get used to stories. And the more that you look at stories, the more you dive in, the more you can help work on your own stories and how you process these stories. So, anywho, I'm going to let you go. I cannot think of anything else, and the flow is lost. So, because these videos are all about me flowing, me talking about things, me getting out of my head, and right now I'm in my head a little bit because I had to pause the video. And last time I tried to get the video from my phone to my computer, it was a lot of issue. Eventually I'm going to go back to my computer where I have a better setup. It's just a matter of, I can't flow there. I can't be in that spot at the moment without thinking that this is wrong or that's wrong, or I have all these excuses, things that get in the way of me recording, things that get in the way of me communicating. And right now, what I'm putting out right now, it's not the video quality that I care about. It's the message quality. And also, if the messages kind of suck or they just don't resonate with you, that's okay. Go ahead and click on to something else that resonates with you. That's perfectly fine with me, because my goal is to open up myself, to be real, and to get used to showing every bit of me, all the things showing me and being authentic and inspiring you to do the same. So that's why I'm putting out these videos. And also, the more I put them out, the better I'll get, because the more that you do, the better you get at it. So that's my intent. My intent is to be real, be authentic, to help you get the most out of your life, to help you have the greatest experience, to help you open up to love and light. Anywho, my phone's telling me it's too hot and the battery's getting low, so it's time to go. Thank you guys. Love you. Comments below. Please interact, and I will interact with you, because we need to be there to support each other. Love you guys. Bye.